Welcome. What? That's from a movie. To Genova. Is that from Princess Diaries?
Oh, is that from? Yeah, that's from Genovia.
Are you sure? Am I sure? I don't know
anymore.
I'm getting it confused with, I think she's the man. I don't know. I'm getting it confused with something.
No, I think it is Princess
Diaries?
Welcome. Oh, yes,
right?
I think it is.
Wait, you know what I'm talking about?
I think it's from...
Welcome to something. I don't know. Maybe I made it up. No, I didn't. It's from something.
You really have me thinking.
I have you puzzled. I have myself puzzled.
I'm really trying to think about it now.
It's okay. Andy, if you find it, put it up.
Literally.
Put it up here.
Heard you wanted to see me. I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to Illyria. Welcome to
Bestie with my bestie. Shall we get it rolling?
Yes.
Do you want to rolling? Rolling.
Right. Welcome. Okay. Welcome. So, welcome back.
So,
I'm Marly.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is
Bestie with my bestie.
So, today we're going to discuss having friends of the opposite sex.
Oh, okay.
Hey, do you think that works out? Do you think a man and a woman could be friends? Just friends?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Like I'm friends with Andy.
Right.
You're friends with Eric. So is it possible to have friends of the opposite sex?
Yeah.
Yes. But I feel like there's an extent.
Right.
Well, I don't know because like Eric has friends that are girls and like that I trust and that I love. Like I've personally met them and I'm like, oh, there's been times where he's like, oh, I'm going to go hang out like karaoke bar and so is going to be there. And I'm like, go for it. Go have fun.
Right.
Because I know her and also I know she's in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's like, yeah, go have fun with your friends. Like, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I personally don't talk or physically hang out with like guys.
Right.
And maybe it's different because like, well, it's not different because same thing for Eric. Like he has girlfriends, but it's not like to this day he's hanging out with them alone.
Right.
And like for me, I think all of my connections right now are just over social media. But even then, I hardly talk to any guys at all, even if they're friends. Like it's either like them responding to like a story, but it's like of my kids. Like, oh my God, like it's cool to see you as a mom. So I think it's possible, obviously, to have friends of the opposite sex. But I think it maybe going into a new relationship is where it's like you start to question everybody and their motives and their intentions.
Yeah, it's more like the long-term friendships, or there's just some that the person and you feel you could trust them. And so it's fine.
Yeah.
But there are like, of course, like new friendships and it's kind of just like you have your guard up a little bit. So it's like because you don't know them well enough yet. So you're not going to, basically be blind to it. You need to be alert just in case.
Yeah. So I think that's also something that I've told Eric too. Like long-term friends are cool. But I feel like if we go somewhere and like we're just meeting people for the first time, I'm never going to go out of my way to follow them. Like maybe I'll follow a girl that I really hit on with, but it's very rare. Right. And like if I meet a girl and like her boyfriend, I'm never going to follow her and then her boyfriend. Right. Or if I'm out with like girls and we, I don't know, hypothetically, or this is all made up, like we met some really cool guys, which would never happen, but I'm not going to go out of my way to follow them. And I'm not going to be like, oh, we made friends tonight. Like, no. Like, I saw people. They were cool. But it's like, you're still not going to be that kind of, I guess, like, friend. Like, you don't have the friend title. Yeah.
Like, of a...
So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely gotten to sometimes where I'm like, just because you met some people doesn't mean you can follow them right away. Like, I think that's weird. I think that makes me uncomfortable. Like, why? You barely know them.
Yep, exactly.
So it's like, slow your roll. No.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I have a question for you then in regards to that. So what if you are out and about and you're mingling And you do meet a cool group of people, guys and girls. Mm-hmm. And let's say everyone in that group follows both you and Eric. Mm-hmm. At that point, is it okay? Do you feel comfortable following them back together? Like, do you want to have like a discussion about it? Or do you think, no, just don't follow them back? But you hit it off. You thought it was fun, like a fun group of people you met.
Yeah.
I give you like a little scenario.
I think in that scenario, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, oh, she followed me and Eric. And maybe like, I know there's some girls that are just like cool and they don't think anything about that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, like I met these really cool people. I would want to maybe still see like what they're up to or keep in touch. So I'm going to follow both of them. Like I get that sense. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I would be too weirded out. And me and Eric are very open with each other about like, especially social media, because social media can get very tricky and cause a lot of problems. Mm-hmm. But we have this form of communication where it's like, we will just like be like, oh, look who followed me. Like, oh yeah, she followed me too. Or like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But there's been a situation where like one night Eric went out with like, one of our close friends. And I think I was home. I don't know. Like, yeah, I was home. Mm-hmm. And he messaged me like later on the night, like this girl was saying how she knew Eric, but she was saying how she knew me. And she was like, oh, I know Nessa. Like, she's so awesome. Like, I went to the same high school as her and she was really good in like soccer. And like, oh, I just loved her. I looked up to her and all that stuff. And he sent me a video of her and she's like, hi, Nessa. And I'm like messaging him like, I've never in my life seen this girl. Like, I don't know who she is. Like, sorry. Yeah. I was like, tell her. I was nice about it. I was like, hi, but like, tell her like, I don't remember her. Like, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And then later on, like I think that night, when he came home or something, he showed me her, and I was like, I don't know who this girl is, but she wasn't even following me; she was following Eric. And I'm like, for someone who claims that like they know me and like how much they loved me in high school,
loved you and you're so this, you're so that. I was it's like only gonna follow your man and not you.
Yeah,
don't know.
And like she hung out with him like the rest of the night, I think. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, but she was like with like her guy friend. I'm like, just because she's with her guy friend doesn't mean they're together. Like, that still made me feel weird. Yeah. So, and like same thing that you said, I will always have my guard up.
Yeah. You never know.
Regardless, I'm gonna have my guard up. So I told him, I'm like, that's weird. Like, she went up to you saying she knows me, but I don't know her. I've never seen her, and she doesn't even follow me. She follows you. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, if we went to the same high school, you would think she would follow me, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's weird.
The whole thing. I would feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. What about you, though? What would you do? What's your stance on it?
I think it would be okay in that situation, like if it was a whole group and we all followed each other and it was a very like mutual and innocent. But I think in that situation that you described, I would not be okay with that. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of weird, especially because she was like seeming like she was kind of praising you in a way and she really like admired you. Mm-hmm. So the fact that she admired you so much, yet she, you guys went to high school together, you're friends or whatever, like, or she wanted to be friends with you. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's just weird. I feel like you never know someone's intentions. And that's why it's important to always have your guard up. I mean, you don't have to be like having it up like entirely where you're like rude or you don't
like stuck up.
Yeah. Or like in a way where nothing's okay, or where you're not understanding where it's like, well, the situation's a little different, but it's like still have your guard up for those what ifs, just to avoid anything.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, like I think we've talked about this before too. Like, say if I have girlfriends and like we hang out, I know them, but they're in like long-term relationships and maybe I haven't been around their partner as much. I won't go out of my way to follow them.
Right.
Like, to me, that's like weird. Unless like they're always hanging out like you and Andy. Mm-hmm. Like obviously that's different because we're like close now. We built our relationship. But even with like my girlfriends, still to this day, like I know some of their boyfriends follow me, but like I think for me personally, like that's a boundary. Not gonna say like it's gonna do anything, but I just think it's weird because I don't know them,
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I do follow my friends' significant others, but it's because we have that kind of a bond, like me and my friends. And so I've known their guys for a long time. They've been around for a long time. So it's kind of, but it wouldn't be like an immediate thing. Like, I just met you and like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, that is weird.
Yeah. So I think only in those scenarios too, where I'm like, oh, I would really want to get to know a person, not just follow them. And I also don't want like my girlfriend to be weird, like, oh, Vanessa's already following my man. Like that's, like they've hardly talked and she's already following him. Like that's not my business to follow him. You know, I'll see him on their stories and I'm just like, oh, cool. But I'm like, I'm never going to go out of my way to follow them. Yeah. Unless we're close and we all hang out. Like,
I think it's a mutual friend group. And yeah, I agree.
What would you say Andy's point of view is? Like, is he okay if you have guy friends?
And like, is he okay if I go hang out with guys and things like that? Like friends you have, in that way?
Yeah. Like, does he know you have guy friends and is he okay with that? And then if you were to hang out with them, is he okay with that?
So I don't have any guy friends. My only guy friends are his guy friend,
Eric.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like those are my friends. Like those are my guy friends.
Yes.
Or my guy friends would be my girls' boyfriends. Those are my only, and I wouldn't really care to. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Yes.
Personally, I don't think it's appropriate to have a guy friend. Like while I'm married, and it's something that is kind of that kind of opens doors. Not that it would be my intention, or necessarily not saying that it would be someone else's intention to start anything or attempt anything, but it's just to avoid, because you never know. Like you never know someone's intentions, and so I just would want to avoid that at all costs.
Okay. So you personally think it's a boundary?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So it's like him though, he does have girlfriends. He doesn't hang out with them all the time, but there are some people where they'll hang out, they'll go to lunch and catch up, and I'm okay with it. There's only like a few really, and it kind of just depends, but I trust him and I know them. Yeah. I don't know them too well, honestly, but I don't know. I don't think much of it. I feel like, I don't know, your ambiance is very important. And so if I feel anything negative about you, or, I'm just going to trust my gut feeling.
Got it.
If I don't feel anything negative or any bad energy from you, then it's okay. But if I do feel it, then I'm like, probably not.
Got it.
It just kind of depends. Every situation, every person is different. He met them through an old job.
Okay.
And they kind of they'll like talk, I think, like respond to each other's stories and things like that, which I think is fine. But I don't know. Not to like, if he wanted to hang out with them like all the time, I think that's a little different. But I understand if you want to like hang out every once in a while, go out to lunch, catch up, it's fine for me. But me, I wouldn't personally do that now. Like I wouldn't want to even, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's kind of weird. I just wouldn't want to hang out with a guy. I don't want to. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good with having girlfriends. Like I don't feel the need to have a guy friend.
Got it. Oh, that's different. I never knew that about you. And not saying it's a bad thing, but I like that's a different. I understand it.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. Like I can understand. I feel like that's a very maybe old school way of thinking.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I'm bashing on people who do have friends of the opposite sex. It's just for me, I just don't want to.
Like there's no need for it.
Yeah, personally, I don't think so. But if you have like a friend for like ever too, I've had guy friends in the past, obviously. But honestly, like not to sound like in any way like conceited or anything, but a lot of them have tried to hit on me at some point or another. And that's why I think it's kind of like, I'd rather just avoid that. I don't want to open any doors, get close to anyone, make them feel, because I'm a very like, I feel nice person and I feel like I could be myself around my friends and I'm very open and whatever. So I wouldn't want anyone to take my friendliness for flirtiness.
Got it.
And I've gotten that so much before where I don't mean it. I genuinely don't mean to be flirty or come off that way. but it's just me being nice. It's just me being bubbly. How I am with like my girlfriends, I'd be with my guy friends, and just because it's just that to me. And I don't know, you know?
Oh, that's very interesting. But I understand, like I said. So for me personally, I have guy friends, but it's not like I'm going to tell Eric like, hey, so-and-so wants to catch up over lunch. Like, no. Yeah. I think that's something that how do I say this? I've never really had friends. Oh, no. But for instance, like before, like in the beginning of mine and Eric's relationship, I worked at a gym. And in that gym, obviously, you know, you're working out in a gym. But I made a lot of cool, awesome friends. That's fun. We followed each other on social media. And still to this day, like there's some certain coworkers, ex-coworker, obviously old friends from work, where we'll follow each other on TikTok and we just send each other memes. But the thing is, like, Eric used to work out at the gym, so he knew everyone too. Okay. You know, so, and they obviously knew too that like I'm with him, because during that time is when I also got pregnant with the boys, and I had to leave because I was high risk. So they were all very like supportive and loving, and still to this day like catch up once in a while. But the farthest I'll go is like we send each other memes or TikToks or like respond to each other's stories. But if Eric ever like is like, oh, like who's this? I'll let him know like, oh, this person I went to high school with, or this person I went to middle school with, or I've known this person since it's always from like school or work. But it's never like, oh my gosh, I went to this party and I met this guy and like we're friends now. Like never that. Yeah. You know? So he's okay with like me doing like sending TikToks and memes and like having small chit chats over social media, but I personally would never go out of my way to be like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with him, because I'm like, oh, that's weird, because I know I'm personally not that close with him. Exactly. And there's no point for me to start getting close with him, even though I know we're friends and he knows we're friends. But it is like, I guess same thing for you. Like Eric, he has his girlfriends that like I love, and he's like, oh, we're gonna go like catch up or do something, but that hasn't happened in like years though. But because I think for him, maybe it's like we live further away now, and it's just we're busy. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess same thing. Not that I personally think that there's boundaries, but yeah, personally, I just want to do it. I guess same thing as you. I really just like repeated everything you said.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but like honestly, like nothing bad against people who do. If that works for you, great. But it's just to avoid. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to.
Especially if you've tried it and it always ends up as they mistake your friendliness, like you said, for flirtiness. Yeah. And that's when you're like, okay, there's something that's happening. You're the problem.
No, literally. I know. It's because I feel like I'm so bubbly. I don't know. Yeah. And I've gotten that so much. And so I'm like, I'd rather just not deal with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess in a way I can agree. Yeah. Wow. We're the samesies. We're samesies. That's very interesting though. But I mean, yeah. But I'm really trying to think and like soak it in, because sometimes when I watch back to these podcasts, I'm like,
oh my gosh, I would change my answer. I would say it differently. Yes, or I would add this.
It's like what I think. I don't say what I mean to say. It comes out wrong. I'm just like,
for example, on one of them, it was, have you ever had a friends with benefits? I haven't. But for some reason, I answered yes. But because I was thinking, a situationship. Oh, okay. That I like mistook it. And when I was watching it back and we were deciding on like clips, I was like, I like didn't mean that necessarily. I meant situationship.
Yeah. So the last episode we did where it was would you rather date a guy with no experience or little experience, with like no experience, or a lot of experience? What I meant to say was I wouldn't want to date a guy with a lot of experience, not because of like his numbers, but because of like seeing the girls he's been with would make me insecure. Yeah. Because like that whole episode, I was listening back to it and I'm like, that's not what I meant. And it sounded so hypocritical. And then we started talking about like sex number and like how it shouldn't matter for girls. And I'm over here saying like, oh, but I wouldn't want to be with a guy who has a high number. Like, that's not what I meant.
It's like we know what we mean and we're saying it in our heads. And once it comes out, it's like, oh, no, that's not what I meant at all.
Like, I don't mind a guy who has a high number. if I physically saw photos of the girls he's been with, which I have, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm insecure now.
Yeah. I'm
like you were with them and now you're with me.
It's kind of like a little power movement, like how we said too, like, you know, just being with someone who has no experience.
Yeah. And I'm sure vice versa for the other sex. Like I'm sure men feel the same way.
I feel everyone would feel
but anyways,
that way.
I was like, man, I sounded so hypocritical.
No, I know. I do that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not what I meant. Or I wanted to add more. Like, I'm like, we should redo this topic. Yeah. And like, you know, like a couple months later.
I was going to say that too. Like I almost told you, let's just skip this episode over. But then you were like, Andy's literally almost done. I'm like, okay.
You're like, got it.
I'll just do it. Never mind.
We'll redo this in like 6 months and like change your answer.
So let's update. We could do that. Let's update our answers from past podcast episodes.
Honestly,
That'd be cool.
Because realistically, we grow, we change our minds, opinions, but we change our minds, our opinions. Like we're constantly growing, how you said. So I don't know. Yeah. It's not like I don't like to say never because you never know unless you're in a situation where, you know, whatever it is, and it might change your mind on what you think versus when you're actually in it. So anyways, back to the question.
Well, it was, is it possible to be friends with the opposite sex?
Yeah.
I think for me, long story short, it is. But I think if you're with a partner, you need to have full communication and cut people off that you know are situationships. Or that you know, like, there is something slightly there.
Don't have pure intentions. Yeah. And that's where it's hard because I understand where people, like, come from when they're like, no, you know, you can't be friends with opposite sex because something's going to happen or one person will like the other one. And I get it, like, because naturally we're just, I mean, people are sexual and you know what I mean? So I understand it, but that's why personally I would avoid it.
Yeah. Like I think to this day, if you go through my followers, I'm following, if anything, like you said earlier, Eric's friends are my friends. Like his guy friends are like really the only friends that I talk to or have some form of communication to this day.
Yeah.
But it's only because like whenever we hang out with his side, it's like all of his guy friends, you know? It's either that or I've gotten to the point too where like I either don't follow people that I've had a past with, like guys that I've had situationships with, or that were just like maybe a fling or something. I was like, because I don't want that still in my life. You know, like I've cut out all forms of communication with guys that I've either flirted with, done something with, you know, so gulp. Gulp. But yeah, would you like to do the popsicles?
The popsicle.
That was a good topic.
I liked that one. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh my word.
Oh gosh.
Thoughts on throuples. Would you do one?
So remind me again what a throuple is.
So a throuple is a relationship. Let's say you and Eric find someone else and you're all in a relationship.
Like we mutually agreed on a person to be in a relationship with us.
Yeah.
And it's also
that's like a way that can start, that can happen. Yeah. So you guys mutually, for example, you mutually find someone you guys both enjoy spending a lot of time with, and you literally have feelings for that person too. It's like just the three of you. It's just adding one more person into the relationship.
I wouldn't do it. I couldn't be able to do it.
Me neither.
I feel like I'm too territorial.
Me too.
And I would get I would say I would get jealous and insecure, especially if I know that like he hangs out with her
more
or even, you know, like that's messy.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to. I know it works for some people and like, you know, cool, but I couldn't myself.
I feel like even if it works for some people, it always ends up in a mess.
I feel like it can. Like, it's kind of like sometimes I see that, like, you could see it even in movies, like with just friendships, when there's like a group of three, one always feels left out at moments. I've had friends who have told me that they've been in groups of three and they always felt left out or, you know, so I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is comparing yourself and then feeling insecure if you're not in it as much as the other person is, especially if it's like your partner you started this with and he's slowly going towards the other person. I'd be like, oh, heck no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, because it's like risking that, you know, you're risking, well, I don't know. I guess it depends. Like if they really believe in having a third person, then you would hope that they wouldn't try to like, you know, exit that person. And but
that's just
it's messy. A no-go for me.
Yeah, it's a no. If it works for you, it works for you. But yeah, I couldn't be able to do it. I'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be crazy and toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'd be like, peace out. I can't do this. I changed my mind.
Yeah, I just want one person and I want us to have a connection and I want us to be on the same page, love each other and only each other. No room for a third over here.
No, not even the thought of a third. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode.
So, yeah.
Guys.
So that was it.
Forgive us if we look tired, if our eyes look droopy or red.
I sound tired. I feel like scratchy. My voice is really scratchy.
Oh, maybe. I made you even more insecure. Don't choke yourself. But yeah, it's late for us. But let us know what you guys thought of the topics we covered this episode. Let us know if you've ever been in a throuple and how it went for you. And
or if you would even try it.
Yeah. I feel like maybe it crosses people's minds, but you know.
It's like a normal thing, like to think about it. What if? Like, you know, everyone has what ifs.
Oh, Marly? Candies?
Oh, crazy. Oh.
Okay. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below or DM us a story and we can go over it. And whatever episodes where we respond to your guys' interesting tea time stories. Let us know also what your stance is on being friends with the opposite sex. Yeah. If you've had troubles before, if you've had a falling out with it before.
Yeah. Send us your stories. I would love to know.
Yeah.
Give us the tea.
We love it. But with like full detail, like let us know in full detail, like the start of it, the details, what happens after, like where you stand in the situation. Like we want the follow-ups too.
All of it. Yeah. Because there's some people I feel like they'll tell us a little bit of their story and then they're like, I'm sorry if I sent too much. It's like, no, you didn't send enough. Yeah. Like, send it all. Like, give us everything.
Yeah, because then we can't give like a full detailed response or advice back.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Just like in the last episode where we did that, I feel like I couldn't completely answer. Like, I gave like, I feel like 3 different answers. Yeah. Linked to everything. But yeah. Yeah. So, follow, like, share, subscribe. Just do it. Okay.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Like Marly said, follow, like, subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on our socials down below. And we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Peace out. Peace out. Peace.
Did that sound like? Well, I'm like. Well. Okay.